Nobel Gundam. Hey, what's up again everybody? Robert 184, 2Rs2Bs, gundam.tk. You've seen the D-Box and you've seen all the individual parts, but now it's time to turn this Nobel Gundam into a full mobile fighter and see how it stacks up. So making her debut in plastic model form, the high-grade Future Century Nobel Gundam. I really have to say that looking at this though, it looks a lot bigger and fatter on the camera than it does when you've actually got it put together in front of you. So maybe it's true about the 5-pound thing. There shouldn't be too many impediments in terms of mobility for this, outside of the fact that the joints don't bend all that much. So if you bend up the front skirt, you're able to bring the legs all the way forward, and with the side skirts up out of the way, full splits should be possible, and yes, there they go. Also, if you go backwards, no, the back skirt doesn't move at all, so you're not going to be able to move it there. Remember that the hips move on an up-down pivot mechanism, so you'll have to fiddle around with that, but you can see them here that they're moving up and down in here. And on the waist, you're able to move it here, or you're able to spin it around, of course, but then you also get to bend here because it's on a ball joint as this peg goes up into the chest section. For the shoulders, they don't really pop out like on some of the other ones where you can pull out that polycap type part, but they're going to spin around with no difficulties at all, and the shoulders will come up this high, spin around here, the arms can come across, but you won't be able to bring it across the body anymore. Well, actually that does a pretty good job of bringing it all the way across the body, depending on what kind of pose you want to put that in. The head is only on a single ball joint, so nothing too fancy there. The yellow parts here can occasionally bump with the blue parts if you try to bend the head down, and otherwise in the back the hair doesn't really get in the way, although you're not going to have her able to look up just because of that huge mane there. Yoga posing? No problem. So trying different poses, every once in a while I have had the ankles pop out a couple times on me, and just once I had the shoulders come out as you try to put the hands on the hips. But because they have these long pegs here on the manipulators, you're actually able to get them into position pretty well, unless that's in a straight down position. And something else that you have to be aware of is if you don't get the feet just right, because it's on high heels, she really does not have as much support as if she was wearing sneakers here. For weaponizing, just put in the manipulators with the holes here where you can put the beam saber type handles in, and even with the short ones on, I don't really know what kind of cool pose you can do with those. They still come across as being quite an interesting weapon. And it does look pretty cool. You can actually have the ribbons go through the hands. She could coil them up or wrap them up if you wanted to use the straight ones for that. But when you wrap them around the body, again, by far one of the most unique weapons in all of Gundam. The action base is really easy to use to get her up in aerial poses, and again, just the fact that it's got the pink on the white just makes them that much more visible as they drape around the body, and the short ones do come across as being somewhat weapon looking when you use them this way. When you plug the ribbon into this weight here on the bottom, you get a lot more control about where it's going to fall. Takes a little bit of practice, and you're going to have to go with the bends that come with the ribbons, sort of like this. Try to take them out of that position, they're not going to work for you. But with that weight at the bottom and them twisting off there, again, all sorts of cool stuff that you can do with this. Here are the hands when you replace them with Domon's Godfingers with them. A little bit disappointing that they've got the hollow palms, but that's going to be dealt with, I'm sure, by cradling her here like a baby. Don't mind the sticky tack there on the back of the wings. But anyway, the pose works out better than I expected. The only thing is that she ends up just resting on the arms, as it's hard to get the hands positioned just right. As well, the hair it can get in the way a little bit, so what I've done is I've just sort of detached it from the bottom there. So here it's a little bit lucky that you've got the 2 attachment points keeping it onto the head. That wraps up my look at the mobile fighter here for the Nobel Gundam. Don't forget to stay tuned for the next part for the final verdict with the good and bads all concisely laid out. But of course, I always want to hear what you think, so down below in the comment section, that's your cue. Please let me know what you think about both the MS, the character, and anything else you want to say. Anyway, everybody, Robert184 Gundam.tk. Please hit like if you do, don't if you don't. Subscribe if you haven't already, and we'll see you next time. Thanks for watching. Now that I've got you away from the rest of those bozos, there's absolutely nothing that could be in our way.
とも、何かやってるの。
ああ。